Yeah, when they say Spirit of Justice, where Apollo and Athena are under attack. So we're either going to be swapping to them, or we're going to be carrying on as Phoenix and Edgeworth, not doing that. May 18th, Khura'In Bazaar. Apollo and Athena it is. Those guys sure are persistent. Oh, yeah. They even wore me out, and that doesn't happen often. Why are they after us anyway? Apollo, it's the real guards again. Quick, hide. Manhole cover. Hey, where'd Hornhead and Spidey Hair go? Go! Sorry. Spidey Hair? They're not talking about me, are they? Is that a trick question? We know you're hiding somewhere around here! Apollo, that weird-looking bird over there, did it just... Yeah, it did. It's called a warbot, and you know what? I'll tell you all about it later when we're not being chased by masked men. Come out, wherever you are! Head over to the Founder's Orb if you know what's good for you! Right, that would be a sensible reason for them to be chasing us. Figures they're after the orb. I don't want to know what they'd do to us if they were captured. They grow us in those obnoxious loud voices. I'd cave after the first hour and confess to whatever they wanted, truth or no. Come out now, you foreign devils! This has gone on far enough! You must not keep Her Eminence waiting any longer! We've got to get out of here. There must be a safe place to hide somewhere. Anyway, let's head to back to the palace. That seems like a good idea. Wait, we can just go to the palace? This is a very bad idea. Let's hang out in the tomb. I assume they want us to head into the sewer again. We can just go research all this stuff. Stop hiding! Come out with your hands up! Oh no! They're closing in. They'll catch us if we don't find somewhere else to hide and quick. I assume that just happens if you scan anywhere. Right. To Dirk's place we go. We're just running all over the entirety of Khura'In. Look, a manhole. Ah, that's right.
Say, son, do you remember my office?
Sure. I remember that messy, dimly lit room.
The file of Amara's assassination is kept there. I think it might help you on this case. Do you remember how to get there?
Athena, I know where we can hide. Follow me. Oh, where are we going? Wait, you're not seriously thinking about going down there? It smells like rotten eggs. And are those rats I hear? We've got no choice. Really? Is this the time to be picky? I can get us somewhere safe, but this is the only way in. Quick, before it's too late. It's gonna take forever to get this stench out of my hair. But you take forever to get the death out of your hair if we're not fast. May 18th, former Sadmati law offices. Oh, curious. They just reset the order in which I found. They were expecting me to find the button way earlier. I found it last the first time we were through, and so they were just like, look, you should have had the button earlier, okay? The blood was the last thing you were supposed to find. May 18th, former Sadmati law offices. Looks like we lost him. That was close. Dirk's office. How long has it been since I last set foot in here? It's a little weird in hindsight that they had threw a knife into her portrait when their plan isn't to assassinate her. It just seems like if anyone walked in here, they'd get the wrong idea. There's a spider. It's just kissing, having a little smooch from the moth, I guess. Which is a terrifyingly huge moth, by the way. And Dirk's little Dracula coat here. How long has it been since I last set foot in here? At least we're safe now, but I shouldn't remember this file being here. I guess Dirk just was taking it out of late since momentum started picking up on the whole Revolution project. At least we're safe now, but... Why is Athena all huddled over in the corner like that? Ah! That's... AJ! What the heck are you doing here? Ron's Royal Guards are after us.
Once a rebel, always a rebel. Don't worry, the regime doesn't know about this place, so you can relax now.
Good. But since when am I part of the rebellion? I don't recall signing up. I mean, you mentally signed up after Dirk told you about Naita. Apollo! Oh, Apollo! Mr. Wright! What are you doing here? We saw you two go into that manhole. You narrowly escaped the gods' notice. It was like watching a pair of ostriches burying their heads in the sand. I guess that was a closer shave than I had thought. Anyway, you're safe and sound now, and that's what really counts. Oh, I also have some evidence for you. Thanks, Mr. Wright. So it makes it sound like this is going to be the last investigation block before the trial. How are we going to be able to go to trial if the guard is after us? Well, I guess the guard and the police don't get on, so it's not like the guard can just arrest us in the middle of a courtroom. That would be interfering with the oh so precious trials. Case evidence received from the boss. Marvelous, we've all got it concatenated now. So what is this dubious hovel we found ourselves in anyway? Wouldn't you like to know? Wow, all kinds of crazy stuff we've got in this case. Back pain medication, notes on people's appearance, odd blood stains, photographs of people when they were kids, photographs of channelings, soot-covered buttons, blood-covered pendants. It's all wild here. It's the Divine Dragon Safe House, also known as the former Sadmati Law Offices. I see. Well, though it might just be happenstance, here I am, a chief prosecutor, hiding out in a rebel base. Please don't report this place to the local police, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Might as well take a look around while we're waiting for the heat to die down out there. Come on, Athena, stop moping over there and help me check this place out. Please tell me there's a shower here. There's a sink in the kitchen. And if you're lucky, maybe even some soap. I was gonna say maybe even some water in it. I'm sorry I even asked. Oh man, she's just really miserable about the smell down here. I thought it was gonna be like the spider or the moth that was freaking her out. Or maybe the really, really rotten looking lizards. So the file is, I assume, what is on the desk here, so let's try and scan that last. But Dats! So Dats, you guys are still using this office, I see.
Yep, except now it's the official HQ of the Defiant Dragons. But as Dirk said, and I quote, we must keep it for the day when Khura'In needs lawyers once more.
Restoring the legal system to its rightful form through popular uprising. You can tell how much Dirk believes in his cause.
Oh, and AJ, Dirk said something else that might interest you. He said he hopes you'll come back and take over this office someday.
To take over? Me?
Those were his words. He may have been half joking, though.
With him, I'm not sure.
Dirk, guess what I heard from PW? AJ's become a lawyer. Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. Must have been because of you, Dirk. I'm not so sure about that. I imagine he's already forgotten about me. What are you talking about? I bet he can't wait to follow in your footsteps. Nothing would make me happier. Maybe one day he'll return to Khura'In and take over this office. It's just a pipe dream, though.
Dirk really said that?
Dirk was never a hands-on kind of dad, but well, a day went by that he wasn't thinking of you. That much I'm sure of.
I mean, he was hands-on when it counted, I guess. Doesn't get more paternal than that. Dirk, and to think I really did spend my days trying to forget you. Is it my imagination, or it's like when Athena and Apollo are on, in a game, their parentage just like always comes up at some point in the story, but I feel like we've never heard anything about any of Phoenix's family. He's honestly one of the characters with the most mysterious background of this whole game. The only thing we know about his past is Edgeworth, basically. Well, and what he was up to when he was in uni. Dirk, and to think I really did spend my days trying to forget you. I'm looking forward to a nice long talk once you're free. That's the only talking point. By the way, can I present some stuff to you?
Ah!
What? What, do you know something about this?
Nope. I just felt like shouting is all.
You had me going there for a sec. It's exceedingly on brand for him. Although, Apollo, I guess you and I don't get to roll our eyes at people for making loud noises out of nowhere. That is a terrifyingly huge spider. I love the nope with the double thumbs up. That's hilarious. I assume we're gonna have nothing on any of this. It does seem like they really just want me to be examining for the moment. Righto! So I'm presuming this is Amara's case file, so let's look at everything else first. This is Dirk's old law book. Look, there's a mark on the cover. Looks like it was branded with a hot iron. Yeah, I think it was done in protest against the Defense Culpability Act. There's an entry on the DC Act right here, see? In the name of Her Eminence, those who would support criminals will be named just as guilty. Oh, so this is the infamous anti-lawyer law you guys are always talking about. Add it to the book. Oh, right, of course we need that because it's in the photograph as well. So at some point they're going to be like, how do you know Queen Amara was actually aligned to Dirk's cause? That's ridiculous. And then we're going to be like, the book! So I suppose, in a way, it's his memento. It's a memento of her as well, since that was back when they were married. Before her death. Dats, what's with the altar?
That's where we pay our respects to the victims of the Defense Culpability Act. The DC Act is a heinous law that puts innocent people to death.
Oh, that's supposed to protect the people, sends them to their graves instead. Talk about insane. How about this little dartboard you got here? There's a scary looking knife sticking out of the Queen's picture. If anyone saw this, they'd think the Divine Dragons were a violent group. That's what I was saying.
Oh, that was actually me trying to kill a fly. I threw that knife at it, but I whiffed, and the thing ended up stuck right between her eyes.
You mean this wasn't on purpose? But how did you even get... what? Why did you have her face on a dartboard anyway? That's hilarious. That gives that cutscene a lot more context now. Who's the kid? Oh, wait a second, that's you, Apollo! I recognize those horns anywhere. Is that really the only way anybody recognizes me? You were so cute! And here's that fine-looking young man. Oh, that's Nayuta back when he used to smile. Wow, his smile is absolutely angelic.
Sure brings back memories. That was taking the day we all went out fishing.
What was Prosecutor Salmani like when he was younger?
He was kind of quiet, but passionate when it came to his convictions. When he finally made prosecutor, he was all fired up to change Khura'In for the better. But now he's nothing more than Garon's lackey.
Seems like Dats has a lot to say about Nayuta. I'll ask him about his thoughts later. Or right now. Dats, wasn't Nayuta once part of the Defiant Dragons?
Yep. Yuta was a rising star in the Resistance. He vowed to fight for the cause through the legal system. Said he'd become a prosecutor and giving the Garon the smackdown they deserved.
But now he's...
Yeah, a puppet of the Garon regime. Not only that, but now he's gonna prosecute his own dad. It doesn't add up.
I wonder what happened to him.
Me too. But if I had to guess, I'd say Garon has some serious leverage over him.
Leverage? Like what?
Wish I knew. But it seems like Dirk knows. I tried to press him about it, but he wouldn't say.
Come to think of it, Dirk did say... Nayuta is suffering?
Yes. He knows the rightful state of Khura'In's legal system, but something forces him to bend to Garon's will, and it's tearing him apart.
If that's the case, I bet Nayuta doesn't really want to go through with Dirk's prosecution.
Which you already bet.
I still don't really get why just the writing is a little weird from where I'm sitting. That when earlier Dirk was all like, I don't know why you're doing this, Nayuta, and it's like, I guess he doesn't know the specifics, but he's known for a long time that he's being coerced, right? Very strange. I'm surprised to see so many appliances here. There's even a TV.
Speaking of which, we gave the people of Khura'In quite a shock when the Plume Punisher Warrior of Neo Twilight Realm was last on TV.
You mean that show where the actors play parts of Dirk and Rafa? You hijacked that in the middle of its broadcast, right?
Yep. All their writers do each week is try to ruin the Defiant Dragon's good name.
Yeah, I guess I'm weirder the more you think about it.
So we decided to hit him where it hurts.
Must have been real shocking, especially for the kids who waited all week to see it. I mean, the show's main villain was actually hijacking the very show he's in.
I'm sure the kids would have thought it was cool.
Ew, is that a newt? Come on, Athena, can't you tell a gecko when you see one? There's some pretty effing big geckos. Like 1.5 feet long. How big is the biggest gecko? Oh, I stand corrected. The New Caledonian gecko is the largest known gecko species and grows to lengths of about 14 inches. The more you know. I could buy that being a gecko then. What's the difference? Geckos like to live in houses while newts prefer to be outside near water. They're totally different creatures. Well, how do you know this one wasn't caught outside near some water? Could very well be a gecko. No, I'm pretty sure it's a newt. Oh, so then you agree it's a newt, Apollo? I fell right into her trap. Well, I'm sorry, but he just got Bugs Bunnied. You're both wrong. It's just a plain old lizard. What? Geckos are lizards, are they not? Or is the species called plain old lizard? Sadmati Law Offices. That's the sign Dirk used to display out front. Hey, Dats. I heard the office used to do quite a bit of business.
That it did. Dirk was a famous lawyer with countless courtroom victories, after all. He was the dauntless dragon who turned trials upside down, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. His fame as a lawyer spread far and wide across Khura'In back in the day.
I hope the day comes where he can proudly display this sign again. Likewise. If they kill him at the end of this game, I'm going to be very disappointed. It seems unlikely. Dirk's jacket. You should try it on, Apollo. It might actually suit you. Really?
There's also a spare eye patch here. Why not try that on too?
Sorry, just picturing you and all that. It's just too funny. Oh, my pride. Oh, come on, Apollo. Don't tell me you don't want to hear the melodic sound of Athena's laugh. As horrifically rendered by myself. Wait, don't tell me we have to go back through the manhole to get out of here. The only reason this safe house is still safe is because the front door has been boarded up. Fine! I'll just have to live here till the revolution begins. What if I told you rats come out at night? Then I'll just have to start the revolution before sundown! I bet the revolution never thought I'd get a new ally this way. That makes a few of us. Alright, time to stop procrastinating. These ought to be Amara's notes. What are you windows loading me for, game? What notes in this file? Oh, it's full of newspaper clippings. Page 1. The arson incident involving Amara's private residence. Amara was slipped a sleeping pill and perished in the fire. The letter found at the scene had Dirk's fingerprints on it. Which is, okay, he's obviously, that's the most, this man was framed for the murder I've ever heard in my life. Who would, it's the lighter, it's easy to take with you. Why would you ever leave it behind? It seems to be a collection of documents and information on Amara's assassination. So this is what Dirk was talking about. We already know most of the stuff here on top. Let's see what else there is. I didn't know any of this stuff except for the first one. What are you talking about? Wow, where did he get all this? Anything important here? Page 20. Apollo's roving musician father got caught up in the incident and lost his life. He was struck in the head by the culprit. The victim's passport and any pictures of him were burned up in the fire. Without knowing his real name, no divination seance could be performed. Oh wow, we're gonna have to find out his real name and do a divination seance from 23 years ago? Wow. What about this? Apollo's roving musician father got caught up in this incident and lost his life. What? This is about your father, Apollo. Looks like it. But I was never told much more than what's written here. Really? How come? Dirk always skated around the subject. Maybe thought I was still too young. Plus, I always thought of Dirk as my dad, so I never really brought it up. Oh, I see. Still, I feel kind of sorry for your real dad. Bet he was murdered? Yeah, I feel sorry for him too. My real dad. I was never really interested in learning about him. But after seeing his picture, I can't help but feel a little curious. I wonder if Dad could tell me anything about him. File containing a ton of info on the assassination of Amara Sigatar Khura'In. Hang on. Amara and Garon both have the same middle name? Huh, wonder what that's about. Apollo, this file looks like it could be useful. But there's so many pages, I can't tell what's important. We need someone to help organize all this. I think I know just the person to ask. Well, Dat is the only one we can ask at the moment. But out of curiosity, how much am I allowed to look at? We're only on page 120 at the moment. Right. So we ought to show you the picture of his father and the file. Dats, I wanted to ask you about this picture.
That's the picture of your pops that Dirk found. And he had a heck of a time tracking it down. He said he searched all over for it.
Why? Why would he go through all that trouble? Oh, to have his face. If you can recover his face and then the name, you could, in theory, get a channeling going. To ask him whoever killed him, because whoever did that was probably also the same person who set the fire. I see what's going on. I see what's happening, yeah. Dats, please tell us everything you know about Apollo's dad. But also, let me just presentify right quick this thing to you, and then we can just do a whole bunch of chatting. That's about this file. Can you help me figure out which page is the most relevant?
Yep, sure can. I got the whole thing memorized. See this page? It's definitely worth a look. Page 34 is the son of the terrorist Dirk Nayuta was expelled from the royal family. The idea that the sins of the father are visited upon his children is deeply rooted in the minds of the Khura'Inese people. Right, I'm with Athena here. I completely forgot that would have meant Nayuta was formerly royalty. That's right! Prosecutor Samadi was part of the royal family, wasn't he? Yep. But he was expelled after that whole thing with Dirk happened.
Well, so he's 24, is he? 25, and 23 years ago was when that happened. So he was expelled when he was like a baby, basically, like a toddler.
Yep, but he was expelled after that whole thing with Dirk happened. He must have gone through hell once he entered that legal world, though.
Because of the sins of the father are visited upon his children thing?
Yep. And now as the people, Dirk is not only a traitor to his kingdom, he's also the terrorist who assassinated the previous queen. So as his son, Yudi no doubt got the cold shoulder at every turn.
It must have been really hard on him.
Yeah. Ties between father and son aren't something he could break even if he tried. No matter where he went, he was probably labeled the son of a criminal. But despite it all, he made a name for himself through blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, just look at him now. He's a star prosecutor working cases around the globe. He's become a hero, the pride and joy of Khura'In.
That's the Nayuta I know. Super smart and never willing to give in. He must have studied and fought like his life depended on it to get where he is today. Amara's assassination file updated in the court record. Right, about my father. Do you know what my biological father was like?
Dirk once told me about him. He was a modern minstrel, walking the world and making music in his travels.
I said about his real name because I guess we don't know for a fact that Jove Justice is his real name. If we did, channeling him would be all too easy. Although again, I guess channeling people, you don't need to know what their eyes look like. The shape of their face is enough, kind of. Right, because you just need to know enough to be able to, like, call out to their spirit, so to speak. So you don't need to know every precise detail. This file also has some information on your real dad. It says he died in the blaze at Queen Amara's residence 23 years ago.
That's right. Dirk could invite him over. Dirk's the kind of guy who can become fast friends with just about anyone. It seems your pops was like that too, AJ. They hit it off at a bar, and the next thing you know, Dirk's asked him over to play some tunes.
And then the place went up in flames.
Oh yeah. Dirk had just stepped out for a sec when the fire broke out. Apollo. You were there too, but you were still just a baby.
I remember hearing about that when I was little.
Yeah, it was a crying shame. Pops just happened to take you along that day. So you were there with him when the fire broke out. But Dirk risked his life to save you.
It's like Dirk's done nothing but save me all my life.
All your pops' stuff got burned up.
It is interesting, the parallels between Dirk and Phoenix. Dirk, both of them adopting a kid whose father got absolutely atomized in some unusual murder case.
All your pops' stuff got burned up, including anything that could have helped us identify him. All we knew about him at first was his stage name, Jangly Justice or something like that. Dirk did everything he could just to dig up what little we know now.
But do we know Jove is his actual name? What about my mother? Do you know anything about her?
All I know is she was traveling with your pops, but that day she was off doing something on her own.
So then she probably didn't even know why her father had been with Dirk, huh? Her father? What? Sorry. So then she probably didn't even know my father had been with Dirk, huh? But she must have been desperate to find you and your father once you got missing.
No doubt, but the Queen's assassination threw the kingdom into chaos. The police were so overwhelmed they were probably hardly of any help to her. We searched and searched till the legs gave out too, but we never found her. And with your father's stuff all burned up, we had 0 leads, not even a photo.
So that's how I became an orphan.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe your mom read about the details of the fire in the newspaper. Maybe she figured you died along with your pops.
Wow, I had no idea you'd been through all that, Apollo. Neither had he. Well, he didn't have all the details anyway.
So then you believe me? You believe in my son's innocence?
Your poor son, imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. Let's petition the government for his release and a declaration of innocence.
Oh, thank you. I'm forever in your debt.
Who's that?
Hi there, Mrs. and me. Hard work, I see.
Yes, I have my own battle that I must wage. After all, there are many who suffer under the Defense Culpability Act. Mrs. Inme, please don't forget about our case, too. I won't. I will look into it as soon as I am able. What's Mrs. Inme doing here? She's a rebel, didn't you remember?
She's lending ear to all those suffering under the regime's wrongful accusations. A lady whose husband's been imprisoned, parents whose son's been falsely charged. She's helping all those types of people.
Oh, so she's trying to help the revolution along. In her own special way.
Yep. Thanks to her, more and more folks are coming over to our side.
It sounds like a lot of eyes on this hideout.
All the people who have been unhappy with the regime have been waiting for just this chance. And they're starting to speak out in support of us.
People are responding. The grassroots movement is growing. Their extreme revolution may finally come true. Right at the precipice of it. What should we do about the Founder's Orb? We'll probably run into the Royal Guards again the moment we leave this place. We can't stay here forever, so we'll have to think of something. I guess they don't know that Phoenix... They don't suspect that Phoenix or Edgeworth would have it, so maybe we could give it to one of you? Maybe Albie? I don't know. Leaving it here doesn't exactly seem like the best idea. But it's probably better than taking it with us. I've got it. Why don't you hold on to it, Dats? It should be safe here, right?
You can count on me. I'll get it back to you in the time for tomorrow's trial at the Hall of Justice.
I sure hope you're right. I have faith in you, Dats. What now, Apollo? Well, we've got a handle on what happened 23 years ago. Maybe we should pay Dirk a visit. There's something I want to show him. I'll join you. I want to talk to him before tomorrow's trial. Maybe I should wait here, then. We'll attract undue attention if we go in too large of a group. Probably correct. Thanks a bunch, Tats. Off we go. But yeah, some serious revelations going on here. And a brief reference to Talassa / La Miroir. I think I'm right about that she's Apollo's birth mother. But also Trucy's? Or am I... hang on now, man. I was getting mixed up. But I think that was the implication at the end of the 4th game. Maybe we've learned some information since then that disproves that somehow. But that was what I thought anyway. It does seem a little weird to imagine that after finding Jangly and AJ to have died in a fire, she would just hop over to the States and then a few short years later already remarried and had another kid and everything. Well, I say a few short years. What's the difference between Trucy and Paula's age? It's like 7 years, actually. So that's maybe a little more realistic. And then something happened that I forget, and she lost her memory again. Oh, again. That was the first time I guess we know of that she lost her memory. Anyway, May 18th Detention Center Visitors Room.
Hey there, son. Came to see your old man again. Why have there been a bunch of guards after you?
Hi, Dirk. Guess they're done questioning you.
Yeah. I think Naruto might have cut his old man a little slack, but no. He really laid into me. Seems they're really keen on recovering the Founder's Orb. When I wouldn't tell them where it was, he confiscated what few possessions I had left.
Including your badge. Wait, Dirk's not wearing his attorney's badge. They even took that from him? Didn't take his eye patch, at least. I've still got mine! Last we were here, we didn't have anything past the autopsy report, I don't think. Do we even have that? Actually, I'm not sure. Let's just present everything else.
Khura'In. He was an entirely insufferable, unlikable fellow, but I never thought he'd wind up dead.
Why didn't you like him?
He was the most hawkish one in the Khura'In regime. He established the secret police to arrest us rebels without due process. Those they managed to capture were immediately executed. My compatriots in the Defiant Dragons came to call him the Executioner.
The Executioner. Pretty ironic considering how he ended up.
He's probably in hell now, being tormented by those he wrongfully put to death.
I'd prefer not to speculate myself.
Is that for me, son?
No, I was just wondering if you knew anything about it.
What? You came to visit me and you didn't even bring a present?
I'll take that as a no. I found this in the tomb. Look familiar?
That's...
Dirk?
Where did you find it?
In the tomb, down between the monk statues in the tomb. Is it yours, Dirk? It's Saudmati's, surely. Nayuta's, I mean.
Oh, it's something I bought.
Huh? Why is he suddenly acting all awkward?
I wonder when I lost it. Oh, let's have it. It's very important to me.
Of course. I'll just make a note about it for future reference. The Guadify pendant returned to Dirk, but a record of it remains in the court record. It seems it belongs to Dirk, stained with the victim's blood. Unless it was Amara's somehow or something. One way or the other, he's not being straight with us about whose it was. I have to imagine it was Nayuta's, and he doesn't want to tell us because he doesn't want to make it seem like Nayuta was down there. I get the sense Nayuta's going to be the one they pin the crime on next after Dirk. Doesn't claim to know anything about the photograph, but I bet that's not true.
Careful with that. Don't go showing it around town. You'll be branded a rebel.
But I'm not a rebel.
Don't be ridiculous. You're a member of the Defiant Dragon simply by being my son. Or did you think that dragon tattoo on your rear end was just for show?
What? You have a tattoo on your butt, Apollo? Let me see. Relax, Athena. He's just jerking our chains again. Quite eager to see Apollo naked, are you, Athena? Now kiss. Sorry, our assassination file.
I prepared that myself. Use it well.
I'm surprised you were able to gather this much information.
It wasn't easy. After all the evidence from the assassination was lost in the fire, and the newly installed Khura'In regime was in full control of the media. Every lead I tried to follow led to a dead end.
So then how am I supposed to solve this case?
You'll figure something out once tomorrow's trial is underway. After all, no one's looked into this assassination since my last trial.
I hope I can turn things around enough to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. He's got a point, though. I mean, no one has had time to look into this professionally since all that nonsense went down. Examination points are the same, so let's chat! Nayuta!
You confiscated all my prized jailbreaking tools.
What did you expect? I mean, no prosecutor in the right mind would let a prisoner keep stuff like that. Did he take your attorney's badge, too?
No. Well, I thought it strange, but just when it looked like he was going to take it from me, he changed his mind.
I wonder why.
Indeed. I find it hard to understand anything he does these days.
No joke. Your Khura'In's attorney's badge. You've worn it all these years, even though all the lawyers are gone.
Yes, because the dragon's eye is the embodiment of my creed.
To show the world that a dragon never yields, huh? Hey, Dirk? Why do you still wear your badge? You're not a lawyer anymore, right? Oh, sorry, that was this little kiddo Apollo. Hey, Dirk! Why are you still wearing your badge? You're not a lawyer anymore, right?
This badge is my heart and soul, son. I'll never stop trying to realize my dream, not until my very last breath.
A dragon never yields, right?
Exactly. Nayuta, Apollo, I vow to restore Khura'In's legal system to its rightful state one day. I want to pass on to you a world where you can live free from the fear of tyranny.
He was always saying stuff like that to the two of us. Nayuta, is the reason why you didn't take Dirk's badge because you still remember those talks too? I really hope that's what it is.
Son, would you keep my badge for me?
Are you sure? I can't take something so important to you? From you? You know what I mean? Important to you from you?
That's exactly why I want you to hold on to it, Apollo. I'm placing my fate in your hands.
Alright, I'll make sure it stays safe. Thank you! The symbol of Dirk's creed, a dragon never yields. Nayuta never confiscated it. It's going to be a pivotal moment where we show that to him in the trial to show that he's still got the heart of the dragon in him, or the will of the, you know what I mean, whatever it is. Apollo, remember how Inga said he had someone dear to Dirk? Why don't you ask about that? Oh, right, I'll give it a try. God, Phoenix is looking pretty today. Someone dear to Dirk. What did the minister mean when he said he had someone dear to you in the palm of his hand? Who was he talking about? Nayuta seemed to know, but he wouldn't tell me anything.
Well, I have no idea, so...
Well, you obediently followed his every word after he said that. So it seems to me the minister was in close proximity to someone you really care about.
Oh,
Someone you really care about that isn't Nayuta? Wait, don't tell me! Is there a new lady in your life, Dirk? Why would you say it isn't Aita?
What? No, don't be ridiculous, son. The love of my life was Amara. But she's gone now and there will never be another.
Oh, really? My bracelet! Wait, does this mean... Dirk, have you really not met somebody new? What could they mean by this? At least Naita's not around to stop us from this. There will never be another is probably the part that's going to be funny. Stroking his chin ponderously. Oh, he stopped stroking his chin ponderously. Oh, never mind. No, he was his elbow was twitching when he said the love of my life bit. And on there will never be another. Oh no, unless maybe he's just doing that. Maybe that's not the tick. Sorry, I thought he was rubbing his chin an awful lot on the love of my life part. No. It just, like, once. Sorry, that's just happening now then. So I've missed the tick. It's something else. Let's have a look at his other hand. Or is it but she's gone? No, that's gonna be the lie. Oh, wow. Yeah, maybe. Huh? What the hell is going on here? Does he have a glowing tattoo? Gotcha! What? No, I hit the tattoo! Come on! You seem uneasy, Dirk. Wait, don't tell me you're ashamed because she's much younger than you!
Don't be ridiculous! I'm just getting tense because of your intrusive questions. Anyone would react the same way.
I guess that's not it. I was looking at the glowing tattoo! Still, my bracelet reacted, so I know he must be hiding something. Or is it they want me to look at his hand for that bit? So is she channeling Queen Khura'In or something weird like that? I mean, come on. That's the thing, right? That I'm supposed to get? Okay, there we go. Jeez. Gotta be really precise with it. Dirk, you can't fool me. You tensed up when you said, but she's gone now. And you unconsciously moved your arm, causing something to press up against your jacket.
How did you do that?
Oh, so that's it! You're hiding a woman's photo up your sleeve! You don't have to keep secrets like that from me, Dirk. You're an eligible bachelor now. But you'll introduce her to me at some point, right?
I keep telling you there's no other woman.
Fine, then let's see it. What are you hiding up your sleeve?
It's just this. Satisfied?
Huh? Well, that's the pendant we found in Amara's tomb.
See? Wasn't trying to hide anything.
And why did he tense up? Dirk, let me take a look at that. Hey, what's this button for? Whoa! Ah! It's a picture of Dirk and some lady! And she's really young looking too! Mon Dieu, are you into younger women, Dirk?
Can we change the subject, please?
Dirk, you old dog, you got yourself a younger lover!
Will you stop with this nonsense? This is Amara before she died. If you look closer, you'll see that I was younger too.
Hey, you're right. Ah, that's no fun. Athena! Stop! Wait a second, haven't we seen this woman before? Now that you mention it, isn't this woman the same as the one in the pendant's photo?
Boop, 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 boop.
Take that! Picture! The woman in the pendant is also the one in this photo.
Apollo, where did you get this?
From the safe in Inga's room. Well, Phoenix did, but you know what I mean. Apollo, if this is Queen Amara, it had to have been taken at least 23 years ago. But that's just not possible. Yeah, I just noticed the same thing. Here's why this photo couldn't be 23 years old. The Defiant Dragons book? Is that what we're getting at? Because he was only a rebel after that time? I don't know that we especially actually know. Oh, right, no, because Queen Khura'In passed it. So if Queen Amara was still around, then the DC Act wouldn't have been passed yet. Right. Take that! Oh, that was Phoenix, sorry. Take that! Wait, was it? No, take that! Take a look at the law book. It has the mark of the Defiant Dragons branded on it, but that mark didn't exist until after you started your revolutionary activities, Dirk. So this photo must have been taken after Khura'In came into power? And that didn't happen until after Amara was assassinated. So then how could Amara even be in this photo? Channeling, I guess. Or she didn't die. Wait a second. That would mean that Amara is still alive?
Looks like you found me out, son.
Wait, so it's actually true? Does seem weird, doesn't it? Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I briefly thought about that if we were assuming that photograph was Rafa being the baby, because she was only 14. She's only 14. So okay, so if they're gonna say that Amara is the one that he was being threatened with, I mean, surely they could equally threaten him with Nayuta, right? I don't really understand this plot point. Nayuta's also being threatened, we think. Dirk, what do you mean Amara's still alive? I thought she'd been assassinated.
So did I. But it seems she made it out alive, only to be held captive by the Khura'In regime.
Why would they do that?
When I fled from the law and went underground 23 years ago, I heard some shocking news from a defiant dragon spy. There were rumors of Queen Amara being sighted in the palace.
And those rumors turned out to be true?
Yes. I snuck into the palace to see for myself. She was confined within the grounds, but otherwise she was fit as a fiddle.
So then, the sarcophagus in the tomb is empty?
Yes. That entire tomb is one big charade. Khura'In had it built to stage Amara's death.
So that she could keep the power, I guess. So we're not going to be cursed by her vengeful spirit! Ah, that's a relief! Tone deaf, Athena. Wrong time.
She was being held under virtual house arrest. So I freed her and we made a run for it. This photo was taken back then.
Look at how they're both grinning from ear to ear. Does seem like kind of a bad idea to take a photograph of yourself the second you become super fugitives, but... There's a fingerprint on the metal part. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I guess Dirk must have left it by accident. Mr. Samadi, I want to hear all about how you ran away with Queen Amara! Me too, to be honest. Fingerprint found on the inside of the lid. Okay, this is becoming much weirder than I would have ever guessed. I thought for sure they were getting at that Nayuta was the one dear to him that he had held over him. Because I don't understand why... Well, anyway. Never mind. I'm surprised Amara agreed to run away with you. I mean, Khura'In must have told her that you tried to kill her.
I tried to convince her that I wasn't the one who set the blaze.
And she believed you?
She said, and I quote, "I shall accompany you so I may ascertain the truth myself." She always was a tough one to read.
I bet she was thrilled you came to her rescue, Mr. Samadi. To be set free by your beloved! Ah, it's like something out of a fairy tale!
Yeah, well, there was no happily ever after once Khura'In's people caught up with us. They took Amara away to who knows where. I snuck back into the palace and searched high and low for her, but to no avail. They probably moved her to some remote mountain prison or the like.
Dirk, does Nayuta know about this?
He knows she's his true mother. I told him as much.
Wait, is that why Nayuta is following Khura'In's orders?
Most likely.
Following Khura'In's orders just in the hope of maybe getting to find out where she is at some point? That seems too vague and flippant to reason. So then, do you think that deep down he doesn't really want to prosecute you?
I don't know, we've talked about this like 6 times in the past 2 episodes. Well, he's not one to show his feelings. Lately I've had no idea what he's thinking.
Apollo, we need to grill the Queen about Amara when we have the chance. Is that a good idea after you just sent goons after us? I was wondering about something. The little baby the lady's holding. Is that Prosecutor Sadmati? Doubtful. Not necessarily, it could just as well be me. After all, we're only 1 year apart. Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Well, wait, hang on. It can't be you or Nayuta, because the Defiant Dragons were only a thing after Amara's supposed assassination 23 years ago, right? And you both are older than 23. Oh, well, I guess this baby could be... We don't know how old this baby is at this point. They look pretty young, I would have said. The eyelashes certainly seem like Sadmati, don't they? Nayuta, that is. I'm not sure, anyway. I don't know. I mean, the kid in the picture is too cute to be you. Let's settle this by asking Dirk himself. Dirk, about the cute little kid in this photograph? Is that me?
Huh? What are you talking about?
See? I told you it was Prosecutor Sadmati.
Oh, I see. Well, either way, it's not you, son.
So then, if it's Nayuta, it was taken when he was about a year old, right? And that would mean you ran away with Amara around 22 or 23 years ago?
You're pretty good with numbers, son. Impressive.
Huh? What kind of answer is that? Right. Well, but wouldn't that make Nayuta, like 2 years? Because he's 25 now. You'd think he wouldn't be quite that small. Anyway.
Before you go, son, there is something else I need to tell you. Something important.
What is it, Dirk? I've never seen you act so serious before. Something important? So what's this something important you have to tell me?
Listen, son. Even if you manage to prove me innocent tomorrow, I don't have long to live.
Huh? What are you talking about?
What I mean is, I can already hear the Twilight Realm calling my name. There's no escaping death now that it has its sights set on me.
What? Is this another one of your jokes?
I wish it was.
You can't fool me, Dirk. That's strange. Why isn't my bracelet reacting? What, is he been poisoned or something? Or does he just think the secret police are after him? What the hell is going on here? Are you sick?
It's something like that.
So you're not joking?
I'm afraid not, son. Sorry.
Isn't there a cure? Or at least some sort of treatment?
Unfortunately not. Not for what I've got.
If you need some kind of surgery, I'll work hard until I can pay for it. So, please!
It's too late. There's nothing more to be done now.
But you always say a dragon never yields, so why are you giving up now?
Apollo, I'm sorry. I really am.
I don't understand. Why is this happening, Dirk? Why?
Listen, Apollo. I've got a favor to ask of you. Would you keep quiet about this? I don't want my fellow dragons to find out. They'd lose all hope if they knew I was dying.
Surely not all hope. The revolution's getting some momentum.
Would you do that for me?
Of course. Why is this happening now? Just when I was finally starting to feel like you really are my... I thought that this time we'd finally... But now... Damn it! Why? Apollo...
Listen, son. I don't have much longer to live, but I'll never let them execute me. Not before I finish what I need to do.
I know, Dirk. There's no way I'm gonna let them prove you guilty. Before he goes, I'm gonna turn back time by righting the wrongs that have been done. I'm going to restore Dirk's freedom. And return a real smile to Nayuta's face. I'm going to win this case. I just have to! That sounds like a to-be-continued moment to me.
Son, I have one more big secret.
What? There's something else you've been hiding from me?
I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Forgive me. You'll just have to find out for yourself. That's the only way.
I don't understand, Dirk.
Apollo, in court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with a truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all.
Dirk. What is he talking about? Wait, he's not going to reveal that he actually is the killer, is he? That's what I thought as well when he said that. Looks like we've run out of things to discuss. Apollo? Are you okay? I'm fine. Free him now! Release Dirk! What's going on out there?
Sounds like the party's getting started without me.
Huh? It's coming from the temple. Let's go, Apollo, and take a look. Sure, so... Goodbye forever, I guess! Wow, what a weird and bizarre set of twists is coming our way.
Oh, my attorney's badge. You don't see those around here anymore.
It's not exactly something you can wear publicly, is it?
Yeah, and if you did, people would jeer and throw things at you. I've had tomatoes, cabbages, even eggs thrown at me.
The cabbage is the more surprising one, if I'm honest. It sounds awful. Or at least they didn't throw rocks.
True. Plus, if you were good at catching things, you'd have the start of a good meal.
What?
It's true. An hour's walk could yield all you need for a nice big hot pot.
Dirk, sorry I never knew how bad things were when you were raising us. Off we go to the temple then. But I think a to-be-continued is happening right soon.
May 18th, Temple.
Whoa, what is all this?
Revolution, my friend. Damn! Full-on brawl.
Go, will ya?
What are they?
Well, look at that. The people are coming to take their courts back.
Golly. Didn't have enough hands for a double thumbs up. I mean, I'd like to see you try, but jeepers. We were hoping the revolution wouldn't get too violent. At least no one's brought a gun, as far as we can tell. Dirt belongs to the people! Give him back! Yeah! Where are you holding him? Quiet down, you.
I have my big sister too, but she didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, God! Stop pulling my hair! Release my son! Release him now! Ah! Stop that! No biting! This is really something. It looks like Dats and Mrs. Inme are leading the charge.
You unenlightened fools, do you honestly think this will change anything?
Yudi! Why do you keep serving that witch Khura'In?
It's... Hey, Nayuta! You again. What's going on here?
It would appear that the insurgents are fanning the flames of rebellion, but I never thought it would grow so large. However, they will all be under arrest shortly. Reinforcements are almost here.
They'll be arrested? Just for protesting? Protesting? Well, they were beating people up.
They are aiding and abetting a criminal by seeking his release. Her Eminence Queen Garon has ordered they be arrested and judged en masse.
But weren't you once a member of the Defiant Dragons too? How can you go along with this?
I'm simply following the orders that Her Eminence has handed down.
No, it can't be as simple as that. Listen, Nayuta, there's something I want to talk to you about. Hey! You're not getting away this time. We need to talk.
I see there is no reasoning with you. Very well then. Speak.
Well, I mean, it's not that important anyway. See, I gotta go check out this tomb real quick. Oh, hey! Athena, any ideas? I didn't know Dirk was sick. What's wrong with him? I mean, he looked fine to me.
I really don't know. Dirk, I remember, would go out hunting in the middle of winter, while everyone around him was dropping like flies with the flu and whatnot. It sounds like poison to me.
Come on, everyone, cheer up! The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles, right?
Paula, you don't have to put on a brave face for...
No, I'm fine! Besides, Dirk will have his day in court. I won't let this get me down. So you don't know Queen Amara at all, Apollo. I thought that since you used to live with Dirk that maybe you'd met her? Dirk escaped with Amara 23 or so years ago, so I was still just an infant. Even if I had met her, I wouldn't have remembered it. I guess not. That means he may have been cared for by a queen. And if you had been, then what? You would have turned out, I don't know, better? What's that supposed to mean? God damn, dude, that's harsh. I'm an attorney, Athena. Don't be so mean. The victim was the Minister of Justice, the second most powerful person here in Khura'In. You can write anything agency terms. I guess that would be you, Apollo. Thanks, but Trucy's the real second in command. Everyone knows it's Trucy. Yeah, you're probably right. On second thought, she might actually be number one. I mean, even Mr. Wright is no match for her. Remind me not to forget to buy her a souvenir. Yeah, she sounded like she would be pretty pissed if you didn't. What? Are you just gonna show that to me without a word? I guess she doesn't have anything to say about it. Well, are you gonna at least say something? That's a photo of Amara. And that baby she's holding, that must be Nayuta. Oh, he's so cute! He just looks just like a little girl!
Amara sure looks happy. I hope they'll be reunited soon.
Would you really be able to tell the gender of an infant from that at that age? I can't believe Dirk's been fighting the good fight for over 20 years. Fighting for the truth and the repeal of the Defense Culpability Act.
Yeah, and being branded a traitor for it. It's gotta be extremely hard on him.
Whatever happens, we can't let them find him guilty. We have to help him achieve his life dream.
Indeed. Yeah, 23 years. Wow, to think about it, that's as long as I've been alive. Not a role he takes lightly. Everything happens if we try and examine here. Oh, it's all the actual examination stuff. Cool.
Anyway, sorry. Now back to you. I just gotta do a little bit of looking around first.
There sure are a lot of temples around here. Oh, wait, these are all the same as before, I guess.
Look at all these people. They got the whole temple surrounded.
It looks like Das is fanning the flames. The police are gonna really have their hands full with this many protesters. This whole thing is like a powder keg waiting to go off. We should keep our distance for now.
Hey, Naita, I'm still an attorney.
Can you really just inject a localized anesthetic into your back like that? I mean, I guess you can, but you have to, like, watch out for your spine and your kidneys and stuff, right? That's the Rebel's Mark of the Dragon. It symbolizes a person's opposition to the Defense Culpability Act. You seek to argue with me about the legal system? If so, you're wasting your breath. Lawyers and prosecutors do not lay down the law, they merely follow it. The laws decreed by our sovereign are absolute. There is no room for debate.
So let it go and move on, right? Why is that your only answer to everything? Alright, let's chat, shall we? Dirk, Naita, do you really have to serve as prosecutor on Dirk's case? I mean, prosecuting your own flesh and blood, it's just not right.
Again with this drivel. Your ethical standards are not the be-all, end-all of the world around you. I'm not getting into another debate with him.
Naita, did you know that Dirk is sick?
What?
He apparently doesn't have that much longer to live. If found guilty, he probably wouldn't even make it until his execution day.
What are you talking about?
Knowing this, are you still prepared to send an already dying man to his grave? Well? Enough with the Zen monk act, Naita. Tell me how you really feel.
Mr. Justice, each person is born with a role to fulfill, and I must fulfill mine.
Well, I'm not convinced that taking Dirk to trial is part of your lot in life. As for why you've been at Khura'In's every beckett and call, I think I might have the answer. Naita, you know the truth about your mother, don't you? About how the former queen is still alive and being held somewhere?
So Dirk told you, did he? Yes, it's true. My mother was spirited away to some remote corner of this kingdom.
We got jokes.
To keep her safe from harm.
Safe from harm? But Dirk said that the Khura'In regime is holding her captive.
No, they are keeping her safe.
So you don't know where Amara is being held?
I only know that it is some secluded hideaway where visitors are not allowed. I have heard she leads a simple life akin to that of monastic disciples.
She sounds like she's being held captive to me. Listen, Naita, aren't you really doing the Queen's bidding because she's holding Amara captive? And this whole thing with Dirk, you know we didn't really kill Inga, don't you? Dirk doesn't have much longer to live, so I want to help him however I can. This time it's our turn. You could have been killed, but you risked your life to save us. Why?
What a silly question. What father wouldn't risk his life to save his own children? Naita, Apollo, don't you ever hesitate to call when you need me, understand?
It's our turn to help Dirk however we can.
What you speak of is futile. Let it go and move on. The guilty verdict, the hopelessness. You must resign yourself to it all. Clinging to false hope now will only serve to magnify your future despair. So let it go and move on.
Naita, are you really gonna just roll over on this?
I've no more time for idle chatter. I must prepare for tomorrow's trial. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Apollo, I sensed a whirlpool of emotions coming from within Prosecutor Salmati just now. Anger, shock, bewilderment, and an icy sorrow as deep and dark as an abyss. Yeah, I picked up on that too. Looks like Dirk really won't be the only one who'll need my help tomorrow.
I think it's about time to pay Queen Khura'In another visit, and ask her about her sister Amara.
Ah, well, sadly we are just out of time. In fact, we were about 20 minutes ago. I didn't think we'd get a chance to do that until court.
But apparently we're just gonna walk up to the palace and
press her for that, but surely she won't give us a straight answer, and that's when the to be continued will happen next time on A Sturdy Spirit of Justice. So that is all for now. So I suspect there's not much more to this. We've got to go ask her that, and then it's like 20 minutes in, we'll be heading to trial. So we should probably get into like at least the first cross-exam by next episode. That'd be my guess, but this is one heck of an investigation section. They're really dumping a lot on us in this like past episode or two. It's too early to cast judgment. I prefer to finish something before making too strong a claim about my opinion on it. previous case notwithstanding. But I do kind of feel like it's a bit weird just how much Lord Dump has been, and mystery revelation has been hucked at us right in this one investigation section. You'd think there would have been time earlier to start sowing the seeds of some of this way earlier. So it seems my guess that this was Rafa is a pretty stupid guess. I thought because I found it in Inga's safe that was locked with Rafa's birthday that it had to pertain somehow to her, and you'd wonder how Amara would have gotten Inga would have gotten hold of this photograph that Dirk and her took on the run. Well, I guess Amara could have held onto it until she was kidnapped, but. Yeah, I don't really know what they're telling us to believe here. Between Nena, Queen Garon, and the former Queen Amara, there's so much weird. There's something very, very bizarre going on here, and it still hasn't come into play at all that Garon can channel. So I keep thinking that maybe this is not her actual face, and she's channeling someone right now, or that they threatened Amara into channeling Garon, and so Garon's just been living in Amara's body for somehow, and in reality she died earlier or something weird like that. Like, I don't know, I do not have a concept of what is going on. It's just such an overwhelming soap opera, like, cobweb of relationships going on here. Anyway, that is all for now. Next video on the channel is going to be some more Celeste EX, which we are just starting the Chapter 9 Farewell chapter, which I thought was going to be like a short little epilogue thing. It wasn't. It's extremely long, intense level. And that is all for now. Thank you so very much for coming around to this episode of Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. This trial sequence is going to be absolutely nutty. Thanks so much for coming around. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! Looking at this cast of very odd people. Anthem. Oh, well, I guess it'll be a Tails then. One that I haven't played, so Tales of Arise, it'll probably be. Code Vein! There you go! I know basically nothing about Code Vein, except now I do. I know that it looks like Dark Souls and that.